could be your alpha, I could be your Romeo. Tell them boys back up, I ain't going nowhere. I'ma fight that back up, put it on your story so all your friends see it, everyone can see it. Yeah, and we going and going and going, it's a good night. Baby, let it roll like the good times. Smoking and pouring, I'm focused on you, yeah. You can see it, everyone can see it.
And I bet everyone's looking.
For the grandest nightmare experience, you're all gonna be loving theater tonight.
Okay.
Sriracha.
Thank you.
On devait aller déjà. Bye.